Hello everyone. Today we are going to read a poem, Night of the Scorpion, written by Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel is known as father of modern Indian English poet. Uh, he was an Indian Jewish poet and is a playwright, editor, and art critic. He was a foundational figure in post-colonial India's literary history, specifically for Indian writing in English. He was awarded Sahitya Academy Award in 1983 for his poetry collection. And Nissim Ezekiel, the most distinguished contemporary Indian poet in English, a father of modern Indian English poetry. And he was born in 1924 in Bombay in a Bene Israel family, Marathi. And he did his BA English and MA English in Wilson College, Bombay. And he also did philosophy at Birkbeck College, University of London. In 47 to 48, he taught English literature and published literary articles. And he worked as an editor in the field of journalism, advertising, and broadcasting as well. He taught Mithiboy College, Bombay, and he was a regular writer of columns, The Times of India, an active translator, playwright, and a reviewer as well. And uploaded for his subtle and restrained and well-crafted diction, dealing with the common, mundane, simple themes in his writings. These are the writings that he has composed, he has written, and the latter day Psalms which got Sahitya Academy Award. And he was also honored with the title Padmashri in 1988. And precise use of language, well-crafted image, and largely ironic stance in his writings. He introduced a new range of subject matter into Indian English, and his poetry focused on the life of a Bombay people in the urban, with all its difficulties on human sexuality, problem of alienation and identity as well. The recurring theme of sexuality and the male-female relationship is an important element in modern English poetry. And to note the summary of the poem, Night of the Scorpion. This is a poem the poet remembers the night when his mother was stung by a scorpion, which means it's a childhood memory he recollects. He says that the heavy rain that lasted for 10 hours had made the scorpion crawl beneath the sack of rice. It bit his mother with his diabolic tail and went out, which means the whole poem set in a rural backdrop where the people in the rural backdrop and their profession is peasants, farmer, agriculture. And that's why he says, no, crawl beneath the sack of rice where they have kept after the harvest. Hearing about the incident, the villagers rushed to the poet's house like a swarm of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. This shows the attitude of the people. Of course, in the villages, people, if something happens to someone, uh, people come together as a group and supporting, right? Whether they need provide material help or financial help or not, they all come together and try to give their solutions and try to help us if anything goes wrong. That is the attitude in the village, but that cannot be the same with the urban. So here he says they all came like a swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God. Of course, on the other hand, he also tells it is the attitude of the people in the village. They still believe that there is no a kind of logic in it. And he says people in the rural background they are highly spiritual. At the same time, they don't have that kind of kind of a rationalism. What is a when somebody is bitten by some creatures, definitely you should give them some treatment instead of praying to God or telling the name of God 100 times. It is of no use. They do not know that. They searched for because they represent an uneducated group. They searched for a scorpion and their shadows appeared like a giant scorpion on the mud-baked walls. They believed that the poison moved in poet's mother blood with the movement of a scorpion, which is no logic at all. As the scorpion moves slowly, this poison also will move slowly in the mother's body. It is no logic. It is something a fallacy. They wished that the sins of her previous birth will burnt away and the sufferings might decrease the misfortune of the next birth soon, and so forth. So this is something, a kind of a blind ritual, blind belief, or superstitious belief. They keep practicing it in the village rural practices. They sat on the floor with the poet's mother in the center and watched her suffering. What is the use of making the mother sit in the center and you sit around, the villagers sit around her and telling the name of God, and you wish that whatever she has done in the past as a committed a sin, all those sins will be burnt away because of the suffering that she is undergoing now. At the same time, the same suffering in the present moment will decrease the misfortune that she will have in the next birth, which all talks about the next, karma, a rebirth or afterlife, death, no life after death. Now, this is kind of a belief still people hold. It's attitude of the people. The poet's father was, of course, there is a one character who is being introduced as a rationalist in this context is that the father who tries every tries with every medicine or whatever possible solution that he can do to control the poison. So he tried every cure and every poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. The holy man tried to tame the poison with a incontinently the sub no to try to right. They were no they brought a holy man in the village who can try to do some kind of a rituals or a pujas or mantras so that this would go away. It has no connection with that. Unless you apply a medicine, this disease or this kind of a things will never control or subside. But the poet's mother was completely saved. Now we do not know whose help or whose effort has saved the mother. Is it the village holy man or the father's effort who used the traditional healing practices? And finally the mother would thank the god for choosing her instead of her children. The scorpion which did not choose his children, rather mother became the victim of the scorpion's tongue. And it's an excellent example of a motherhood and a mother's love at the same time. Thank you.